Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Dallas, I also go by Dremo, and today we're going to be doing another deck profile. Um, for this time, it's going to be for Ancient Warriors. Now, I should include gameplay right about now, if I remember. We're going to go ahead and get into it. So first, I'm just running one Max C and one Ash Plus. I only have one, but there's not a whole lot of room for editing in this department. Next, I am running 3 Ancient Warrior Masterful. This one, Sun Mo, and what this does is you can toss a card from your hand to add an Ancient Warriors monster from your deck to your hand. There's a couple of prime things you want to add with this, depending on what you start out with. If you start out with Ancient Warriors Rebellion, well, actually, I guess even if you don't, what you want to do is grab Ancient Warrior Ingenious. I don't know how to say these. Huge Kong. I'm just gonna say it is. And when you add this to your hand, it has the effect where if it's added to your hand by an Ancient Warrior card, you can special summon it right away. And it is a wind monster, so it's really easy to go into your rank or your link to, which lets you go into other plays. Next, really the most important monsters in this whole set is this one. Then you have Ingenious. Then sometimes this Valiant Zhang Day, or this rebellious Lu Feng. All the other monsters, those can kind of be switched in and out, and honestly, I think those are the only monsters you actually need to run in the Ancient Warrior category. This is, now I'm not suggesting you run anything else with these, but you can, especially with any of these end cards, or most of these end cards. These ones are actually this one's actually kind of good. But I never summon these two ever, unless I need to like put defense up. That's it. I never summon these. I'll go ahead and go over them though. This one, Graceful Zugong. You can target one continuous spell or trap card you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, add one Ancient Warrior spell trap card from your deck to your hand. All of the Ancient Warrior spell and trap cards are continuous, so you'll be trading a continuous for continuous. Again, this is probably one of the most useful in level 4s that you have in this deck. Unfortunately, all the lower levels are not about special summoning themselves, which kind of sucks. But this deck is fun nonetheless. Then you have Ancient Warriors Virtuous Wigsan. I don't know, like I said, don't know how to say these, so I'm going to be messing up a lot of these words, or a lot of these names. And this thing's effect is, if your monster controls more monsters than you do, you can send one card from your hand or field to the graveyard and special summon one Ancient Warriors monsters from your deck except itself. And when an attack is declared involving another Ancient Warrior card, not this one, so this works for every Ancient Warrior except for itself, you can draw one card. This one I hardly ever summon. It's not that helpful, honestly. Usually you'll want to go first so you can interact with the opponent on their turn. If you go second, they usually set up stuff so that it stops you from doing it, so this is actually not all that helpful. Next, we have Ancient Warriors Deceptive Gwen, whatever that's called. Its effect is you can target one continuous spell trap card you control, send it to the graveyard. If you have the attack of 2 face-up monsters on the field until the end of this turn. If a card your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one Ancient Warrior card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So it's kind of just like a recycler, as well as you can get any of your Ancient Warrior trap cards to your hand, which they all have some some of them have some diffy effects. I'm not running a lot of them. I'll go over the other ones too, if needed. Next, this one, and I've already went over its first effect, is when it's added, you can special summon it. However, if a spell and trap card is activated, you can send one face-up Ancient Warrior spell and trap card that you control to the graveyard to get the activation. If you have this one, the Virtuous Luixan, you have this one on the field, it can also do that with monster effects. But as I said, unless you start with the Ancient Warrior spell card, which is this one, that allows you to bring another Ancient Warrior monster to your hand, you will almost never get this effect, because it just never comes up that often that you get this one and the Ingenious in your hand at the same time, which really sucks. For a deck that has a lot of level 4s, Obviously, it has higher levels in level 4s too. You can't get the level 4s out really easily, so that's not something that I find, I'm not crazy about, because you can brick very easily on any of these other cards, and it's happened. Anyway, fine. Let's go on to the next one. This one is, this is Fearsome Zhang Yan. If you battle an opponent's if one of your ancient warriors battle an opponent's monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, that target loses 1,000 attack. That's during this damage step, so they can't back out of it when you special summon this card. And while this is face up on the field, none of your other ancient warriors can be destroyed by battle. So if you do that just so you can get on the field, you won't be crashing into something to die. You can crash into something, live, and then attack with this. And that would trigger its second ability, is if a card your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. So if you lower its attack and then attack into something else, or this also works during the same damage step. So whenever you special summon this, slowly attack by 1,000, and if you destroy that opposing monster that you're attacking, you can also target one other card on the field and destroy it, which is really cool. That's why I said this is one of the better cards in this deck, even though it's an in rarity. Next, I am running one Loyal Can Yoon. Wow, they got me with that. I haven't read these, the names of this. So this one is if your opponent controls more monsters, or hold on, go back. If only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Your opponent cannot target other ancient warrior monsters with card effects. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it. Only running one because, like I said, you'll be going second or you'll be going first. A lot of the times your opponent will leave one monster on the board for whatever reason, and you won't be able to get this off. Or if you do, it gets destroyed automatically. So I don't really see much point in using this. Next, I'm running 3 Valiant Zhang D, and what this is if you control 2 or more ancient warrior monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. It gains 300 attack for each of your opponent's monsters they control during your turn only. And if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can make this card have 2 attacks on on monsters during each battle phase's turn. So that is this one. So basically what you want to do with this is you want to add to your hand on or off Masterful or the spell card, and if you add the Rebellion with Masterful, and you add the Valiant with the spell card, you can special summon You can special summon Valiant after you special summon Rebellion, and then you can go into your Link monster. Link monster can get the Ingenious. After that, you have a Spell Trap negate, as long as you have the spell card, Ancient Warrior Saga, or any other Ancient Warrior spell card on the field. Next, I am running 2 of these Ambitious. Just gonna go with the first name I can see. Ambitious, and while you control another Ancient Warriors monster, your opponent cannot target this card with effects, nor can it be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. However, everything else can, so it's not all that good. However, if a card your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send one card from your hand or field to the graveyard and special summon this card from your hand. And when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can special summon that card to your field in defense position. So that would be really good for stopping a lot of graveyard effects. if they are still needed in the graveyard, or if you can get DPE out without it destroying you, that would be really good too. But other than that, there's not much. There's not much else to this one. Next, you have one of the most important cards in this deck, Rebellion, and what this does is you have to control the highest attack Ancient Warrior monsters on the field, which you almost always will. You can only special summon this card this way once. However, it has to be controlled. It has to be special summoned this way, so you can't special summon it back if it gets destroyed or kaiju'd. Next, during the main phase, you can destroy one face-up monster your opponent controls with the highest attack. Your choice if tied. Also, you cannot activate monster effects that trying to activate this except for Ancient Warrior cards, Ancient Warrior monsters. And this is the biggest drawback of this card. Once per turn during the end phase, if your opponent monster controls a monster with the highest attack on the field, even if tied, give control of this card to your opponent. That is so bad. Because if they do have something that has like a massive attack, so going up against like Cyber Dragons is not gonna be a good deck. You're kind of screwed because they can pretty much just beat the crap out of you with it without any issue. And you can't just, if they do, you can't just leave this on the field, and it can't be targeted. That means it can't be returned to its hand, which a couple of Ancient Warrior cards can do. I've actually had that screw me over a couple times, and it mostly Eldlick, I think, because they can get that big, they can get Eldlick out with like 3,500 attack, and yeah, it's just not fun. And then I am running one Nibiru. Have not summoned this, don't really draw it that much because I only have one in the deck because I only have one. This is just so I can wipe a field, and I can get rid of the token really easily with Rebellion, so I'm not really too worried about that. It won't be on the field for that long. Next, I am running one Raigeki and one Harpy's Feather Duster. Now this, and I guess Lightning Storm, this is important to note because this will also affect, or also proc the effect of Ambitious. Because something is being destroyed, it doesn't have to be destroyed by an Ancient Warrior effect. So this is really good. One other thing that I forgot to say about Masterful is that when an Ancient Warrior monster's effect is activated, except during the damage step, you can target one monster on your opponent controls and return it to the hand. So let's say you pop something, they show something on the field, you can send the other thing back to his hand, just for fun, just goes bye bye. Next, I'm running one Dark Lord no more because if they can't interact with you with their monster effects, you can win. You can break any board with this really easily. Then I'm running two Fire Formation Tensu. I've just now added this. It's really good to be able to special or normal summon one additional time beast, as long as it's a Beast Warrior. Again, level 4s don't like to summon themselves, so having that extra little bit of advantage with the normal summon can go a long way. I am running two Fire Formation Tenki, so I can get a level 4 lower Beast Warrior monster from your deck to your hand. Unfortunately, this won't proc Ingenious just because it's not an Ancient Warrior card, so you'll have to be careful about that. However, if you pop this down, get Masterful, you can just send it away, and then get Ingenious if you need to. Next, I'm running 3 Ancient Warrior Saga, and what this is, during your main phase, if you normal and special summon a Ancient Warrior monster, you can target one of those monsters and add one Ancient Warrior's monster with a different name from your deck to your hand. This does proc Ingenious since this is an Ancient Warriors card, so you can special summon right away if you have this. Secondary effect is if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, or from the spell and trap card zone to the graveyard, including if you send it there yourself, you can special summon one ancient warrior monsters from your hand. And this will automatically be sent to the graveyard during your second standby phase after activation. So you will get the pop after 2 turns anyway if you don't have it off the field before then. Next, this one you can target 1 monster your opponent controls and 1 ancient warrior monster you control until the end of that turn. Have that opponent's attack, and if you do, add that lost attack to your monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard while you control ancient warriors with 2 or more different attributes, you can place 1 ancient warrior's continuous spell or trap from your hand or deck face up on the field. That way you will immediately get those effects as well, and the trap cards are kind of good. We'll go over those as soon as we get to it. Then I'm just running 1 Called by the Grave. Ash Blossom really sucks in this deck, or Ash Blossom really sucks for this deck. So if they Ash Blossom you, that really puts a halt to things. Next, 1 Forbidden Droplet. That way you can just turn any interaction off the opponent has. 1 Heavy Storm Duster. Just back row removal. And these 2, yeah, well, everyone knows what these do. Next, we have Ancient Warrior Saga. I don't read these either. Defense of Changban. And what this is when your Ancient Warrior monster battles, your opponent cannot activate spell or trap cards until the end of the damage step. So it's basically like Ancient Gears, but only for the duration, or only if this is face up on the field. And during your opponent's battle phase, you can send this you can send this face up card from your spell and trap card zone. Monsters your opponent controls cannot target Ancient Warrior monsters for attacks this turn. And if this is in the graveyard, you can only activate 1 of these per turn, so that really sucks. But if this is in the graveyard, your opponent declares an attack, you can banish this card, special summon 1 Ancient Warrior monster from your deck. If you summon it from your deck, probably already losing the duel, not gonna lie. None of these have any on summon effects. So if you special summon it to your side of the field when they declare an attack, you're probably going to lose still. It's just that's just how it is. It's unfortunate, but it's just how it is. This one is Ancient Warrior Saga Chivalrous Path. And if an Ancient Warrior monster would be destroyed by battle, you can send this card from your spell and trap card zone to the graveyard instead. Also, if your opponent special summons a monster, you can special summon a Ancient Warrior token with 500 attack, 500 defense. It's a wind monster, which is really important. Also, if an effect is activated that targets one of your Ancient Warrior monsters on the field, you can banish this card from the graveyard and negate the activation. That has come in clutch a lot, but drawing this just outright usually doesn't help all that much. That's why I only run it at 1. Now for the extra deck, most of this doesn't really matter. I usually don't use it, but I might as well go over it anyways. We have Evagishki Murrowgeist, and all this is after damage calculation. If you destroy opponent's monsters by battle, you can detach 1 XYZ material, shuffle that card into the deck instead of sending it to the graveyard. I don't know when I would ever use this. I just had it, so I just decided to put it in there. So yeah, I'm never gonna use it. Malevolent Sin. You can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, then target 1 monster your opponent controls and banish it until your opponent's next standby phase. At the end of the damage step, if this card attacked, you gain 300 attack, and if you do, increase its rank by 3. I don't think I will ever summon this. One thing that I will summon is this Dreadnought Dreadnoid, and I've discussed this in the past. I'll probably run this in every single one of my decks that uses level 4s as an engine, just because it looks really, it seems pretty cool. If this destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can special summon, or at the end of the battle phase, you can special summon one rank 10 or higher Machine Xyz monster by using this face-up card you control as material, and all of its materials become material for it. And if this face-up card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can attach one material from this card instead. Next, I am running one Hope Bringer, just because if I do happen to get both Rebellion and Ambitious out on the same turn, I can go into this if needed, or I can go into Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon. This super dimensional robot Galaxy Destroyer is just in here so that I have something to target for Dreadnought Dreadnoid. If I special summon it, it pretty much destroys all the spell and trap cards on the opponent's side of the field, and the opponent cannot activate spells and traps in response to this activation. So it's pretty much just a board. It's pretty much just a back row wipe for free. I mean, I didn't see why I wouldn't want that. Next, I am running a Zeus, just in case I don't want to go into this, or if I have anything else on the field that will go into Zeus, same level as Sin or any other rank 8s, I can just go into it. I'm running Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix. Never summon them, so doesn't really matter. I am running 2 Ancient Warriors Oath. You can run 3. You never want to run 1, just because it is imperative for this. All this does is all Ancient Warrior monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. And when this is link summoned, you can take a Ancient Warrior monster from your deck and bring it to your hand, as well as during either player's turn. Quick effect, you can send one card you control or one card from your hand to the graveyard, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand. So again, a lot of interaction. If you get Oath, Double Dragon Lords, and Rebellion on the field, you have 2 monster interruptions right there. One to return it to the hand, so that if they summon something that you don't want to worry about, like something from the extra deck, you can just send it back. You can just say no. And this, you can pretty much try to pop something so that they can't get anything from the special or from the extra deck. It's proven pretty reliable back in the past. Next, we have Blackluster Soldier. It can actually work in this deck because there's a lot of high levels, and you do go into pretty high levels, you go into high levels pretty often in this deck. Actually, if you don't have a high level on turn 1, that means you probably lose. That's not good. Then I'm running Nightmare Griffin because I didn't really have anything else to run. Access Code Talker, again, never made it. You can get enough monsters out where you can OTK pretty easily, so you don't actually need Access Code Talker to pop stuff. And then you have Tri-Brigade Ominous Omen. I just now added this one because I just now got it. If you saw my Scareclaw video, I have it in there too. Again, haven't summoned this yet. I just now added this recently because I just now got it recently. From the... I don't remember what deck it was out of. But it was a deck. It was out of something that I was trying to pull from. And, yeah, I am running this because all of the Ancient Warriors are Beast Warriors. And it can very easily get 4 monsters out. Or, with a rank 2, you just need 3 monsters, I guess. So, yeah, that is my deck build. Obviously, this is not as optimized as it can be. I'm not running any pot cards, which does ultimately hurt the deck a little bit. Having draw power is really important in this deck, especially since you can have so many bricks. But I can get rid of the other two level 4 in cards in place for it. But if I do end up banishing the Dragon Lords, it kind of sucks. But as I said, this deck can brick just like any other deck can brick. However, this one seems to have a little bit higher chance because there's so many higher levels. But it seems to do all right. I mean, there's a lot of interaction to where it can keep up with some of the top tier decks. When it has a good hand, it has tons of interaction. As I said, you can stop your opponent from playing twice if you know what to pop or what's in your hand. So that's really good. Also, if you wind up somehow with Masterful on the field, that would be a third send to hand if you need to. So yeah, what do you guys think? And thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and hope to see you on the next one. Peace.